Screw those people who say that it's impossible to change your life within a few months. You know, there are two types of people. The ones who are successful in everything that they do. And second are the ones who are always meaning to change their life but somehow aren't there yet. And the difference between these two types of individuals isn't intelligence, resources, or even desire. Everybody wants to do better. Everybody intends to change. However, the difference between these two individuals is something which is very subtle. Hello, welcome or welcome back to Srishti's Corner of the Internet. In this video, I'm going to share 3 subtle yet so powerful habits that lay the foundation for the life that you desire. These things are so important, yet nobody pays attention to them. We always try to chase the life, we always try to go one step ahead. But the thing is that you cannot have the life that you want if your foundation isn't right. So, the very first step is fixing the foundation, and these 3 steps do exactly that. They help us realize what exactly needs to be done, and you need to imply these things before you take any other steps to change the trajectory of your life. So without further ado, let's begin. First step, evaluate your health. This is the start of everything, yet nobody starts from here. This is so simple, yet everybody takes their health for granted. You can make lists, you can have that mindset that you want to change your life, but if your health isn't compatible with it, you don't have the energy to get out of bed, how will you change your life? You know what, you can have the strongest desire to change your life, but if you're chronically inflamed या फिर अगर आपके अंदर कोई nutrient deficiency है, then how do you think you will have the energy to work towards the life of your dreams? Health isn't the result of a good life. It is a prerequisite for building one. So before you start making up lists or the mindset that you prepare yourself to change your life, get your blood work done so that you know what exactly you're working with. You might discover that the exhaustion that you've been calling laziness is actually low iron, or the brain fog is a result of thyroid dysfunction, or the motivation or the lack of motivation that you're experiencing is any other hormonal imbalance. Or you might discover that everything is fine and the problems that you're facing are actually behavioral. Either way, आपको पता चलेगा exactly what you're working with, and that is when you can take the right decision. Sleep is another thing that people dramatically undervalue. They say you do not need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You need to hustle to be successful. And that, let me tell you my friends, is plain bullshit. आप खुद सोचो, if you are hustling, sure, but अगर आपकी health ही सही नहीं है, तो what are you going to do with all of the success that you have achieved? You won't be able to live through that success if your health isn't fine. And sleep is so important. Your body literally repairs itself when it's sleeping. It clears all the metabolic wastes. All the emotional processing happens during sleep. Your hormonal system regulates itself while sleeping. I don't need to tell you the benefits of sleeping. We've all been to school, but I'll still attach the benefits of sleep here. We need to understand how important it is. People weren't kidding when they said that health is wealth. So, start focusing on your health. Start sleeping on time. Start to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep isn't a luxury. Sleep is a necessity. Your health is a necessity. It's the bare minimum foundation to a better life. You know what? I also went through that exact same phase. I was unable to get out of bed. No matter how much I tried to, I just could not literally pick myself up from bed. I also was so tired by the end of the evening that I did not have energy to do anything. And then I got my blood work done and I found out that I have so many deficiencies. I had low iron, I had borderline thyroid, I also was suffering from vitamin B12 deficiency, I was sleeping poorly, and the minute I decided that I will fix my life, and you know what I did? I decided focusing on my health. Because when you have the energy to be a better person, you actually are able to become a better person. Number 2, Do not try to change everything at once. Yes, it's kind of an obvious one, but it's crazy how many people underestimate it. And you know what? You're not alone. I have been there too myself. They wake up one morning and they have this desire to change each and everything in their life: the finances, the sleep, the relationships, the skills. They want to change everything at once, and that's good. Keep that motivation high. But let me tell you the other side of the story. Urgency of changing everything and transforming your life all at once crashes within 2 weeks. Because human behavior doesn't work that way. Building a new habit requires prefrontal cortex attention and consistent effort. You cannot wake up one day and be like, okay, आज मैं अपनी पूरी की पूरी life transform कर दूंगा. It doesn't work that way. A habit forms when you do it consistently over a period of 60 to 90 days. It takes some effort, and you need to understand that human body has limited resources. So if you're trying to change everything at once, it's good, but you also need to understand the capacity that with which your body is working with. Understanding your body, understanding your needs is actually one of the smoothest way to change your lives. You would say कि एक एक हैबिट करेंगे तो फिर कितना ज़्यादा टाइम लग जाएगा चेंज करने में. ऐसा नहीं है. One habit at a time isn't slow. It's actually the fastest way to change everything. Why? Because once a behavior stabilizes, your body does not need to consume any cognitive resources to perform that activity. It smoothly happens. And by that time, you can start focusing and building another habit. You can spend your cognitive resources उस habit को build करने में. Because one habit is automatic. Have you ever heard of compounding? Changing your life one thing at a time is exactly like that. My advice or suggestion to you would be pick up one habit that you think requires your immediate attention and then start building it. Focus on it for 60 to 90 days. And after that, that habit becomes almost automatic to the point that you do not need to put an effort to do it anymore. It almost just comes to you. Plus, there is one more benefit to this. When you complete one thing with absolute consistency, it also builds motivation for you to do other things and to pick up harder things even, because you know it in yourself. You can do it and you can achieve it. This process might seem slow, but trust me that it is one of the fastest ways to transform within a few months. You might ask why I'm only changing one thing at a time. Let me give you an example, a personal example only. I was the kind of person जिसे सारी चीज़ें एक साथ करना बहुत पसंद था. मेरे अंदर वो instant motivation जागती थी to do things, and I used to pick up all the things at once. I wanted to change my skills, I wanted to change my physical appearance, join gym, everything, meditation, whatnot, you name it. I wanted to do everything at once. While that motivation was good, it lasted very less. Because सारी चीज़ें एक साथ सही करने में मेरी विल पावर, मेरी कॉग्निटिव एनर्जी सब कंज्यूम हो रहा था. And I was not able to stick to even one of those things. So मैं 2 हफ्ते अगर 5 चीज़ें सही से कर रही थी तो that was followed up by 2 months of absolute regret of not doing anything at all. So do not be like me and pick up one thing, practice it for 60 to 90 days until it almost becomes automatic to you, and then pick up another thing. Trust me, you'll see the difference. Third, do the things even on the days that you don't feel like it. Again, kind of an obvious one, but it is the real secret to success. This is where everything changes. Most of us believe that we'll do things when we'll feel like it. So, your feeling like it means your neurochemical conditions have to be in alignment. And if we're optimistic, that is about 40% of the times that are, that we would have the motivation or we would have the feeling of doing that thing. Okay, 40% of it being optimistic. The real transformation happens outside of that 40%. When you do things even when you do not want to, doing it anyways. That's where the real transformation happens. Let me tell you the science behind it. When you are riding or doing things on motivation, you are riding on a neurochemical wave. However, when you are doing things without motivation, you are you're building an infrastructure that doesn't depend on how you feel. This is the difference between people who collapse and the people who are consistent. अगर आप सोचोगे that you will do something जब चीजें सही होंगी or when you'll feel like doing it, trust me, those things or those feelings will never arrive. But when you understand that the change happens when you do things without involving your feelings into it, that is when your life transforms. Every time you train when you did not feel like training, you give your brain the evidence that you are somebody who is capable of doing things regardless of feeling. And that makes you stronger. That is exactly where your power lies. Every time you sit down to learn a skill, even when you did not feel like it, when there was absolute no sign of motivation, you train your brain that you are somebody who learns and who is capable of growth, and you are a professional rather than an amateur. Every time you make the right food choice when you wanted to take a wrong one, you give your brain the evidence of somebody who identifies themselves as a healthy person rather than a person who acts on their whims. And again, that is where everything changes. Identity shift is one of the most important behavioral changes that you can do for yourself. Identity shift is one of the ways that you can transform your life. And this is one way to do it. Do it anyways. Your identity is built from behavioral evidence, and the most powerful evidence comes from the time when you decide to do things even when you did not feel like it. Because that proves to your brain that you are somebody who does not do things according to their feelings, rather follows through commitment. And that is where shift happens. I am not saying that feelings are not important. Of course, feelings are important and they need to be considered. But you need to remember that feelings are information. They are not instructions. The power still lies in your hands. And you know what? Once you start doing this, over time you will realize the action that you did not feel like taking, but you did it anyway, actually brought you one step closer to your goals. It will make you more self-confident. It will make you a person who follows through on commitment. Show up especially on the days when you don't feel like it. Because that is indirectly giving your brain a signal that you are not somebody who is scared of giving up on hard days. This is where your resilience is built. So this is a wrap up of everything that we got to know in today's video. First is focus on your health and focus on your sleep. Trust me, you cannot build a successful life for yourself if you're constantly denying yourself of the bare minimum necessities. Second, not doing everything at once. Trust me, I have been there multiple times, where you fall victim to that sudden rush of motivation of transforming your entire life. But trust me, slow and steady wins the race. Pick up one habit and follow through that. Let me know what that habit will be for you in the comments down below. Last but definitely not the least, do it anyways, because trust me, that is the real secret to success. Alright, that is it with today's video. I hope you learned something new. Tell me in the comments down below which habit or which thing you found interesting and something that we will actually work on. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.